4 college students, a peaceful university town, and a murder mystery that stunned the nation. This is the story of Bryan Kohberger, a PhD criminology student who went from studying serial killers to standing accused of becoming one. On November 13, 2022, the bodies of 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, were discovered in an off-campus house in Moscow, Idaho. What followed was a forensic trail that led across state lines into a mind obsessed with criminal psychology. You're watching Evidence in the Dark, where true crime meets psychological analysis. Stay with us as we explore the chilling details, unanswered questions, and the controversial arrest of Bryan Kohberger.
It was a quiet Sunday morning when police responded to a 911 call reporting an unconscious person at 1122 King Road. What they found instead were the bodies of 4 college students brutally stabbed to death in what investigators described as a targeted attack carried out with a large fixed-blade knife. 2 other roommates were home at the time. One of them reportedly came face-to-face with the masked killer. There were no signs of forced entry, no murder weapon recovered. But the scene told a story of precision and familiarity. The public was shaken. How could something like this happen in a town like Moscow? The case exploded online. Rumors, Reddit theories, nationwide coverage. But for weeks, there were no arrests. Only fear, frustration, and mounting pressure on law enforcement. Bryan Christopher Kohberger was a 28-year-old PhD student studying criminology at Washington State University, just 10 miles from the crime scene. According to court documents, he had a long-standing interest in criminal behavior, even conducting online surveys asking ex-convicts about their emotions and thoughts during crimes. Neighbors described him as quiet, awkward, and intensely observant. He was pulled over twice during a cross-country drive with his father, just days after the murders, but at the time, no one suspected a thing. Weeks later, a breakthrough came. DNA from a knife sheath found at the scene matched DNA recovered from the trash at his family home in Pennsylvania. The arrest shocked everyone. A criminology student, accused of executing a crime he once studied. The digital trail became crucial. Investigators allege Kohberger's phone was near the King Road home at least 12 times before the murders, suggesting he may have been stalking the victims or surveilling the house. On the night of the killings, his phone was turned off, a red flag, investigators claim, as if he was trying to hide his movements. Security footage from the neighborhood showed a white Hyundai Elantra, matching Kohberger's car, making multiple passes near the home in the early morning hours of the murder. The most damning physical evidence came from the scene, a Ka-bar knife sheath, found next to one of the victims. The DNA on the snap didn't match any suspects at first, but forensic genealogy, the same method used in the Golden State Killer case, led investigators to Kohberger's father's DNA. That was enough for probable cause. What would drive someone studying criminal minds to allegedly commit murder? Some experts believe Kohberger may have seen this crime as an experiment, a warped attempt to live out the theories he'd studied for years. He wasn't just interested in crime, he was immersed in it. One of his research projects asked criminals to describe how they selected victims and carried out offenses. To some, it seems he wanted to understand the mind of a killer so deeply that he became one. Former classmates say he was socially isolated, rigid in his beliefs, and had a superiority complex. He struggled with addiction in the past, and later became obsessively strict about his diet and routines. He wasn't considered violent, but hindsight has painted a different picture. A brilliant student? Or a ticking time bomb hiding behind academic walls? As of now, Bryan Kohberger has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. His defense team is expected to challenge the reliability of the DNA evidence, question the timeline built by investigators, and highlight the lack of eyewitness identification. The prosecution, however, is building a case around circumstantial and forensic evidence. From cell phone data to surveillance footage to behavioral patterns, a gag order has kept many details sealed, sparking debate over transparency versus the right to a fair trial. If convicted, Kohberger could face the death penalty. And as the legal process drags on, the families of the victims and the public are left waiting for answers. The murders in Moscow, Idaho, left a deep scar, not only on the victims' families but on a nation captivated by the horror and complexity of the case. Was Bryan Kohberger a brilliant mind who lost himself in obsession? Or is he the wrong man caught in a perfect storm of circumstantial evidence? The trial may provide answers, but for now the questions remain. This is Evidence in the Dark. If you found this story compelling, make sure to be notified when we cover the trial and other true crime cases where psychology meets justice. Until next time, stay safe, stay skeptical, and stay curious.